No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. We're going all the way so you can score more for your trade-in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV today. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise Pregame Show from Bronco Nation News, as we get you set for the latest news, insight, and analysis as game time approaches. The BNN Pregame Show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out lithiafordboise.com to view the full inventory of vehicles, or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise Pregame Show from Bronco Nation News.
Good Sunday morning, Bronco Nation. Welcome to the Cayman Islands John Gray Gymnasium. Boise State getting set for their opening game in the Cayman Islands Classic. They're going to take on the Hampton Pirates. You see the Broncos getting some shots up, getting ready for this one. Hope you can hear us okay. Hope you can see us okay. Let us know if we have any issues. I know it's early morning, just after 8 o'clock back in Boise, but we are awake and ready to go down here on the Cayman Islands for Boise State and Hampton. We bring in our man Abe Jackson. We welcome you in here courtside. My name is BJ Rains, and this is the Bronco Nation News Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. And Abe, been a fun couple days down here, but time to get to work today.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's the reason that we're down here, right? 3 games in 3 days, and I know the team was able to do some pretty fun activities, and then also just kind of getting out by the water and being outside in 80-degree weather in November. But you're here to play the games, and it opens with Hampton.
You are I would say a quasi-celebrity in this town, it seems like. We were out to dinner, and we had the locals guessing how tall you were. Somebody from the Cayman Islands, I don't know if, things are different down here or what, but they guessed that you were 7'2".
And I was sitting down. That was pretty wild. Usually I get lower, 6'3" or 6'4", and no 6'7". But yeah, he's like, "Are you 7'2"? Like, I am not, sir.
But it's been a nice couple days down here. It's been, some fun things to do, get a chance to break. And for these guys, they got a chance to go, kiss a stingray and go to the beach and do a few things. And so it's a nice team building opportunity, but it's those teams that can mix the fun and the business that have a chance to win a tournament like this.
Yeah, of course. And that's one of the reasons why you come to these tournaments, is to give your players and families of players experiences that they might not ever have. I spoke with Tyson Degenhardt's mom, and she said that this is their first time ever traveling internationally.
Wow.
So, the basketball has made it so people can travel and do things that maybe they haven't ever been able to do in their life. And so they get to go have some fun, but then they're also locked in. And this is a team. There have been some teams in the past where maybe I might worry about, are they locked in on a trip like this? No worries at all when it comes to this team.
What do you make of this venue and this tournament? John Gray Gymnasium. This is essentially a high school gym here. It's a pretty nice high school gym, I'll say that. But good lighting. Just kind of reminded me of some of the games they played in Canada last summer. But this is just a different type of venue than they're used to playing in.
Yeah, it's definitely smaller, but that's what you get when you come to these type of tournaments. You usually don't play in a big arena. It's usually smaller, and this gym is very nice. I mean, you could put this gym anywhere in the United States, and it would be a good high school gym. I mean, it's set up nice. The bleachers look good. So, no, it's a good venue, and I think it'll be a good game. And I think this might be the first time that Boise State's ever really been favored to win one of these tournaments this year.
It is a different feeling, and he's Abe Jackson. My name is BJ Rains, and you can hear Abe coming up bottom of the hour with the pregame show. Abe is going to be solo on 670 KBOI with the pregame show and the game broadcast, and that's coming up at 8:30 back in, weird to say, 8:30 back in Boise. It'll be the pregame show. Yeah. But you mentioned the expectations of this tournament, and Boise State, for the most part, I know last year went 1-2, but they've had pretty good success in a lot of these tournaments. But a lot of times it's losing the first game, winning the next two, still feeling good 2-1. But in this tournament with some of the teams that have backed out and stuff like we've talked about, like I think anything, I hate to say it, but at this point, anything less than winning the championship would probably be a major disappointment for this team. Yeah, I think so. And you just look at the numbers. I mean, by far the highest ranked team that's in this tournament right now. And so, like I said, I don't think the Broncos are having any issue with being locked in. Now, are you going to have a cold shooting night? Maybe. And those things happen. But if the Broncos play their regular game, I'm not even saying they have to go above and beyond. If they just play their regular game, I think they'll win 3 out of 3. Get your comments and score predictions in. We'll get to those in the ICCU YouTube chat here shortly, where you're watching from, all that. For once, maybe I'll have the unique watching spot. Everyone says they're watching from Australia or wherever else. I'm watching this game from the Cayman Islands today, so that's right. Not bad. They haven't played in a week coming off the Clemson win. Obviously, a really nice game to build on coming into this tournament. Yeah, I mean, that was mid-season or late-season form. I mean, you hold on after a 5-minute kind of lull to start the game and then come back and really dominate a Clemson team. 13-point win, could have been 16 if they didn't hit that, kind of last-second 3. So, I mean, just a dominant win over a very good team. I think that win's going to be something we look back on all year and say that's really helping us out. Alvaro Cardenas, we've talked about him, but a guy that we're going to hear from him in a minute. I interviewed him yesterday, but hasn't really shot the ball the way that I think people expect him and that he expects to shoot. But again, in that Clemson game, he still had 6 assists, 1 turnover. He's still finding ways to impact the game. And now when he gets his shot falling here, which I think could come as soon as today, he really is a game changer for this team. I don't know if we win that game against Clemson without Al Cardenas. And the reason I say that, it's not he went 1 for 10. He didn't score a lot. He had some good assists, but he handled the pressure the entire game. Last year, without a true point guard, Boise State couldn't get the ball up the court sometimes. The pressure was just too much, and then you get your offense started late in the shot clock. You can't run what you want to. You don't get a good look. Cardenas handled the pressure every single time up and down the court to get the offense started, and he only had 1 turnover. That's really what I look at as a point guard. Yes, 1 for 10. He won't go 1 for 10 very often, but the handling of that pressure, the up in you, the physicality that Clemson had, he handled it well. 1 turnover and really just kept that offense moving. What do you make of the rotations we're seeing? And Dylan Anderson has been a starter, but the last couple games hasn't played a ton of minutes. Javen Buchanan is getting more minutes off the bench. What do you make of just how Leon's using guys right now? I think he's in a great spot where he can just use a bunch of guys. It could be situational starters. Take out those maybe 3 or 4 that are going to be your starters every time. Sometimes it might be Buchanan. Sometimes it might be Anderson, depending on who you play. I think Anderson could have a good game here. There's some tall guys, but it doesn't really look like there's really any crazy physical guys like Clemson had. They got some athletic guys, though. They do have some athletic guys. Yeah. They do. But I think it'll be one of those things that you just see who you're playing, and Coach Rice can go 4 or 5 deep on the bench. So it maybe it'll be somebody else that we're not even talking about. What's something you like, what you've seen through 4 games for Boise State? Maybe something that Coach Rice is probably saying needs to get better. Oh, the 3-point shooting, that's going to be a question mark. You've gone a couple games where you've only hit 3 of them, and you made 7 against Clemson, which is an okay number, nothing great. So they'll find some of their 3-point shooting, I think. But what I like is really how far along this team is at this point in the season. And we talked about it against Clemson, that it looked like February or March game and how they performed, other than 3 games into the season into November. To win a tournament, 3 games, 3 days. Leon said, hey, this will get us ready for the conference tournament, that kind of thing. Obviously, in the conference tournament, you'll know the team's a little better. I mean, if they win this game, maybe on the post-game show, we're talking more about the quick turnaround and trying to scout a new team. And but just in general, to win these tournaments, 3 games, 3 days, what does it take? Because it's a lot of minutes for a team that really has had a nice space between games so far.
One, you have to play well. I mean, you're not going to be able to really survive if you don't put together a decent game. So that's the first thing. And then also, you don't ever want to say the word injury, but you gotta all season. You gotta be kind of lucky sometimes when you do it and not have injuries. In 3 games in 3 days, the recovery is going to be really important. The preparation is going to be important. But it did get you ready for the Mountain West tournament, and with 3 games.
What do we know about Hampton here? 2-3. Their 2 leading scorers, ironically, are number 0 and number 1. George Beal, and he is a transfer from Norfolk State, averaging about 13 a game. Noah Farrakhan.
Farrakhan.
All right, excuse me. I apologize to him and his family. Farrakhan, West Virginia grad transfer who can go off for a lot of points if you let him. They got a couple solid scorers here.
Streaky. That's what I would call this team. Is that they could put up 90 or they could put up 60. They're a very streaky team, and that's also what makes them kind of dangerous. Is that they were ahead of Providence deep into the second half at Providence earlier last week. So they're the type of team that can go off scoring. But I also like Boise State's defense. I think this team can prevent big runs from teams, and I think we'll see that all year.
Final thought, keys for a Boise State win today.
I think you just play your regular game. You don't need to go above and beyond anything, really, in any of these games. If you just play your solid game, don't try and do things that you don't normally do, I think you're going to come out fine.
Hey, appreciate it. Best of luck over there solo, and then save a little bit of your voice for our post-game show. We'll talk to you after the game, Abe.
Yep.
There he is, Abe Jackson. Appreciate him for jumping on. We're going to thank a couple of our sponsors here and keep this thing rolling. We'll show you a live look at warm-ups. We're going to hear from Leon Rice. We're going to hear from Al Cardenas. We got a lot to get to here on the pregame show, but I want to thank a couple of our sponsors, including Western Collective. Make sure you check out Western Collective, the Horseshoe Golden Ale Orange Chaos Seltzer. You get one of those, and you'll be feeling good, and you'll be supporting a good cause in the process. As part of the proceeds go to benefit the Horseshoe Collective there at Boise State. Get them at Albertson Stadium. Get them at Extra Mile Arena. Get them at most local retailers. And, of course, visit that brewery in Garden City. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. Andy Rowe was there at the football game last night. We may have a football thought or two before we get out of here. Rowpaint.com, the official paint coatings company of Boise State Athletics. Those concrete coatings, the interior, exterior painting. Highly recommend you check out the fine folks at rowpaint.com. Tyson Degenhardt is warming up on the court behind us. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest is that mobile e-branch online banking right there in your smartphone. Check them out. Download their app. Make the switch today. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley for a reason. Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Check them out online, BauscherRealEstate.com. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Rain's family saw that firsthand. They did a tremendous job helping us buy and sell our home. And you can check them out, BauscherRealEstate.com. Ridley's Family Markets, check them out as well. Locations across the Treasure Valley, across the state of Idaho. Just get that hometown grocery store feel when you walk into Ridley's Family Markets. Check them out. Ridley's Family Markets. Download their Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line. And you can get more information and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. We are live courtside here at the John Gray Gymnasium. Somebody asked if this was the court Boise State is playing in. Yes, it is. Those are the players warming up behind you. That's Boise State. And this is the gym. It is essentially a high school gym, but it's a nice high school gym. So it is what it is. Some of these tournaments don't necessarily have 20,000-seat arenas, so it's definitely a unique feel here. There are seats on this end of the court. There are not seats on this end, and I would say it probably seats about 2,500 maybe. I don't know, but it's a small gym. Kind of reminds you of a nice high school or a small college gymnasium, but the lighting's good. The court seems to be good, so I think that we're in good shape for a good couple of days of basketball here. You see Boise State warming up. They have had a little bit of time to enjoy the islands and have a little bit of fun, but obviously it's business now as they get set to take on Hampton in the first game. And as Abe said, you look at the expectations for this tournament, Boise State really should win this tournament. I mean, at a bare minimum, you'd like to see them win. In a perfect world, they win every game by 30 and help their computer numbers. But in the end, Boise State really should win this tournament. They are the top team in this field by the numbers. High Point, a team, I believe, from North Carolina, is a pretty solid team. They're like 100th, I think, at Ken Palm. That's who they could play in the championship, and that'd be a good game. But you're favored by 21. I think it is 22 against Hampton today. This shouldn't be much of a game. But, again, these first games, and I'm not giving out advice, but I'll just say this. Like, it wouldn't shock me if Boise State wins, but it's less than 20. I mean, this is a first game of the tournament. You know, it's an early 11 a.m. game, long travel. Like, they came over twice as far as Hampton did. It would not shock me one bit if Boise State doesn't look perfect and kind of like the football game last night, just kind of survives and advances to move on. So if they can cover it, that'd be great. But I think it's certainly a winnable game for Boise State. I think they will win and should win and have to win. But I'm not sure they win this game by 30 just because of first game of the tournaments. You never know. It's hard to predict. You see Boise State, they're heading back into the locker room right now. We're about 35 minutes from tip-off. Folks are wondering how they watch the game on TV. Mark Gonzalez is asking. Well, the game's not on TV. The game is on Flow Hoops. That is a streaming service. They might have an app. I know they have a website, flowhoops.com. It's going to cost you about $10 a game, but it's a $29.99 monthly subscription. So got to pony up $30 to Flow TV, and then it's $10 a game. We're going to try to take a lot of highlights and have some extended highlights for you on the post-game show. I know you guys will have NFL football going on, some other stuff going on this afternoon, but we'll be back live, I'd say within 5 minutes of the game ending, probably about 11 a.m., 11:15 a.m. We'll be back live because we're going to have Leon Rice live. We'll have players live, but we are going to try to get a lot of highlights from the game since a lot of you guys won't be able to see them. So we will do our best to get some highlights and get those posted to social media to our post-game show as well. And, again, the post-game show will be pretty much immediately after the game ends. So if you're following the game and you see it, flip over to our post-game show, and you'll be treated with a great show with a lot of interviews and content. And, how about that football game last night? I'll mention that for a second. It wasn't pretty. It was ugly, but Boise State gets the win. They survive in advance. I don't know if you folks have woken up and you're feeling a little better about it, but there were a lot of Bancy upset people on the post-game show last night, disappointed with how Boise State played, how they looked. But, again, in the end, Boise State got the win, and that's not, how are BYU fans feeling waking up this morning? How are Alabama fans waking up this morning? What about Colorado fans? Like, Boise State, I know it wasn't pretty. The pass defense has to improve. It's been bad. The special teams continue to be bad, but if you're a Boise State football fan, you won. Congrats. Wake up, take a deep breath, and then, it's a new week on Friday against Oregon State. But as I said, as I wrapped up the show last night, you think about this whole season, and it comes down to all you have to do to make the playoff is to win 2 home games. You win 2 home games, and not only do you make the playoff, you get a bye. You get a bye in the playoff. So I know that UNLV game could be a little scary and for the conference for the championship game. We'll see that at some point. But, we'll see who they play. But I think if you're a Boise State fan, you need to relax and just be happy that you won and be happy that you're still in the position you are. But basketball here. We are on the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. Broncos getting some shots up, getting ready for this one. Boise State taking on Hampton. Hampton obviously is 2-3, and as I mentioned, Boise State comes in as about a 21-point favorite or so. So this should be a game Boise State should win, but you'd like to see a lot of things. You'd like to see Boise State play well. You'd like to see some guys get going. You'd like to see the metrics on the computers improve. Obviously want to see everybody stay healthy, but one guy you'd like to see, Alvaro Cardenas. Alvaro Cardenas is a guy that Boise State certainly would like to get going. Leon Rice talked about him as well. Alvaro Cardenas, Leon Rice, I spoke with them yesterday. Let's hear from Alvaro Cardenas. You may have to turn your sound up a little bit. There's a little bit of background noise. I apologize for that for this interview. But here is Alvaro Cardenas on Boise State getting set for the Cayman Islands Classic and how he hopes to start shooting better and impact this team.
It's been amazing. So far. We stopped in Atlanta. We just made it, so great trip.
What's just your thoughts coming down here with the team? Obviously, the goal is to win this tournament, but obviously a good chance to spend a couple days and especially for a newcomer, get to know some of these guys even more.
Yeah, like you said, the goal is obviously to win the tournament and pick up some quality wins. But these tournaments are just a great experience for the whole team. It's a great way to bond and build some chemistry. It's definitely going to help us along the season to just be a more together team and going into conference.
What do you make of the tournament? I know you guys got obviously Hampton in the first game. What do you make of the field and your chances down here?
Yeah, I think there's some good quality teams. We just want to take it a game at a time. You know what I mean? The worst thing you can do in these tournaments is lose the first game. So definitely don't want to do that. Get our first win and then just take it, get them at time, and hopefully win the tournament.
What's your experience in some of these? Did you guys do any at San Jose? Or?
Yeah, we went to Bahamas and the Virgin Islands, and we lost the first 2 games, then won the next 2 in both tournaments. And it's just not a great feeling to just lose that first game, you know. So definitely want to get that win against Hampton and continue on the tournament.
You guys, it's such a long grind, hard season. I mean, you guys are all from different backgrounds to get to spend 4 or 5 days together down here in the Cayman Islands and with the beach and some of the stuff you're going to do. Like I said, I know it's a business trip, but to get to be down here and be out of Boise weather for 4 or 5 days, what's it feeling like?
I mean, it's starting to get cold in Boise, so it's great. It's great to get out of there for a little bit. But no, man, we have such a great team with great personalities. The guys are amazing. We're all like super together team. This is probably the team that I've been the closest with in such a short period of time. So I think it's just to continue to create that chemistry within the team, go through some adversity, and then obviously being in the Cayman Islands, it couldn't be any other better place.
How do you feel like you guys are playing right now?
I think we're doing good. Honestly, I think the USF game was a good, let's say, wake-up call of how we don't need to play and the things that we need to do. We take a lot of pride in rebounding, being tough competitors, moving the ball, and those are some of the things that we didn't do at USF. But I think we responded well, and that's what this program is about, just, you know, the response. We played a great game against Clemson, but there's still a lot of things that we can continue to improve on, and that's what we want to do.
And I know you personally, you're a much better shooter than maybe you've shown, especially in that Clemson game, but you still have, I think, 6 assists. You're still impacting the game. How do you feel like you're fitting in your plan so far?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been shooting it well as of late, but I know, I mean, the season's very long, and I think those stats will even out at the end of the year. And yeah, I mean, I think not just my scoring, but I feel like I impact the game in a lot of different ways. I'm trying to, be one of the best defenders on this team and move the ball, give my guys some open shots. So that's really what I've been focusing on.
How important is that for a point guard? Maybe your shot's not falling, but you can still, like I said, impact this game in a lot of other ways.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I take pride on. You know what I mean? Like, I know I can score. I know I can shoot it much better than I'm doing right now, and I'm going to do it. But yeah, I take a lot of pride in just impacting game in so many different ways, not just in offense, but in defense as well. And like I said, I've said in other interviews, just making these guys' lives a little bit easier. Omar, Tyson, Andrew's playing great, so it's just getting those guys open shots and then guarding my ass off.
Backing up to this tournament, how do you kind of weigh the business trip with having a little fun too, and is this the kind of team you think that's going to be pretty focused to win this thing?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're very locked in, but at the same time, I feel like these are a good, this is a good opportunity to have some team bonding and have a little bit of fun, because the season's very long, and in these type of tournaments, you want to just go out a little bit, go to the beach, enjoy it. But when it's time to lock in, that's what we're going to do.
Well, when it's time to lock in, that's what they are going to do, and that happens here in about 30 minutes at the John Gray Gymnasium here in the Cayman Islands. As you can see, some fans starting to file in. It's a pretty cool tournament, pretty cool spot, but this is not, going to be a packed house tonight by any means. I can just tell you that. So it's a small crowd, but I would say I see about 8 fans, and 6 of them are Boise State fans, so that's a good sign. But we are still 30 minutes till tip-off. But this is a unique setting, and people are asking about this game being on TV. James, no. If you want to watch this game on TV, you got to pay $30 to Flow Sports, or Flow Hoops, excuse me. And how about this, guys? Flow Hoops broadcasting this tournament, streaming. They're not even here. The broadcasters for Flow Hoops are remote, so there's a couple cameras, but the broadcasters for Flow Hoops didn't even make the trip to this one here. So we'll do it the best we can. I would suggest listening to Abe Jackson on the radio. Listen to Abe, and then come back to the post-game show. And I'm going to try to get as many highlights as I can. So I'm going to try to get some highlights for you guys. And I know you won't be able to watch the game any other way. So I'm sure Boise State's videographer here will get some highlights. I'll do my best to get some highlights as well. But I would listen to Abe on the radio and then come back to follow me on Twitter and then come back. I'll try to post some clips during the game too. If there's some big clips or dunks or plays, I don't know if I'm supposed to, but I'm just going to do that anyway till I hear from Flow Sports that I wasn't supposed to. And then I'll try to keep you guys during the game with some highlights. And then we'll have a lot of highlights on the post-game show coming up after the game. I wish I could. Is BNN streaming this? He won't tell Flow Sports. Wish I could. That would certainly be awesome if I could stream this. And that's the goal down the line, to be able to stream, maybe some non-conference home games or something. If we can get enough subscribers and advertisers to make that happen, that would certainly be the goal, to get into some live events. We're supposed to have a softball game that didn't work out. So, yeah, that would certainly be the goal, to be able to do that at some point here in the near future. While we wait for the team to come back on the court here, keep getting your score predictions in. Keep getting your thoughts on this game in. Let us know where you're watching the game from, and we will, certainly be able to get those and give shout-outs and interact here a little bit. So Boise State behind me taking the court right now. We're going to thank a couple more sponsors, and then we'll show you Boise State. There goes Tyson Degenhardt in for a layup over my shoulder, or a dunk, and he makes it. So Boise State back on the court. We're 26 minutes till tip-off. We'll continue to show you warm-ups. We'll hear from Leon Rice in a minute. But first, I want to tell you about Snake River Pool and Spa, Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. They've been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team. TheSpaTeam.com is where you can go if you're looking for a spa. Maybe you're looking for a pool table. Maybe you're looking for a, sauna. They got it all. Check them out, again, online. Part of the Boise State home team at TheSpaTeam.com. Lithia Ford of Boise, the sponsor of our pregame show here. The weather is turning. All the snow and ice is coming, and you better have the right vehicle, an all-wheel drive vehicle from Lithia Ford of Boise. Check them out online, Lithia Ford Boise, to view that full inventory of vehicles. You can also go in and see their showroom and their lot in person right there on Fairview Road in Boise. They got 6 NIL deals with players. They got coaches, administrators. They're doing a lot of great stuff for Boise State. Return the favor with your next car or truck purchase at Lithia Ford of Boise. Taco Bell, they're doing big things for Bronco Nation News. SON Management, the Nicolason family, we appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. And they are hiring. If you're looking for a job, you can go into any Treasure Valley Taco Bell location. They'll have a table for the sign up to apply for a job right there on the table, right when you walk in. Free food while you work, half your wages the next day after your shift, and it's just a great working environment, so I highly recommend the folks at Taco Bell. TCS, speaking of jobs, Transportation Compliance Service, they're hiring as well. Check them out, TCS, Transportation Compliance Service. Transcompservice.com is where you need to go, transcompservice.com, and they can help you every step of the way. Get into the trucking industry and help you get set. Those DOT overweight permits, anything you're looking for, they can help you get out there on the open road at transportationcomplianceservice.com. They're a local company helping folks all over the United States. So jump in now, 866-813-7620, or check them out online at transcompservice.com. You see Boise State warming up behind me. Broncos getting set to take on Hampton in the first round of the Cayman Islands Classic down here in Grand Cayman. We got folks, Jordan says watch from his church. If you like that, I wish you were. That'd be kind of funny. Good suggestions. Great coverage as usual. Looking forward to listening to Abe. Yeah, I would switch over to Abe. Seth says hold your phone. NFL games suck today. I wish I could, Seth. I wish I could. I'd like to stream this if I could. Bronco 130, 84-63. That's pretty close to the Ken Palm projection. I think that one's 81-60. 81-60 was the Ken Palm projection, so you're probably pretty close there. We got John watching from Boise, Allison as well. We got Hampton by Hilton, Jared says. James, appreciate the kind words there. If there's a media team in the country better than BNN, BSU all the way, appreciate you for saying that. Very nice and kind of you to say. Let's show you Boise State warming up. I'm going to get out of the way here once I can get this going, but let's hear from Leon Rice, Boise State's head coach. Again, you might need to jack your volume up just a little bit because there was a little background noise in the courtyard where I was interviewing Leon. So jack up your volume just a little bit. You can watch the warm-ups. Here's Leon Rice, your head coach, as Boise State gets set to take on Hampton in the first round of the Cayman Islands Classic.
It's great to be back. We were here a long time ago, and it's a neat place, and it's a great experience for our guys. And these MTEs, multi-team events, are just they're fun to come down and see all the 8 teams, and you're all competing against each other. But it's just a memory for them for a lifetime, and some great experiences, and places they'll probably never get to go to if it wasn't for basketball. So it's a lot of positive.
How do you mix the business trip with letting them experience something they'll never get to experience?
Yeah, we always do a good job of that, and we had a great practice before we left, and the thing you got to monitor too is you can't over practice. You got 3 games in 3 days, and it's kind of a war of attrition sometimes in these 3 games in 3-day tournaments. And the reason I like to do it is because it also prepares you for the end of the season tournament. And so I think there's a lot to learn by getting to do one of these in the preseason.
And you guys have pretty good success in these preseason tournaments too, in terms of your overall record and stuff. Obviously your plan works, but what is it about that you guys feel like you come down here and play pretty well.
Well, first of all, you just got to embrace what a great opportunity it is, because, you got to play teams that you're not playing all the time, and just new opportunities, new teams, new styles that you got to adjust to on the fly. A lot of times with short preparation, and so, you can learn a lot about your team. You can teach them a lot of things while it's going on, and I think that's always valuable, especially this time of year. And so, but I think our guys are really excited to play, coming off that Clemson game, and we had enough time in between where we could beat travel and kind of take the first day, get adjusted, do some things, a little bit of sightseeing the very first day, and then we're hard at work tomorrow.
I know the tournament field wasn't the original field you thought you were going to be in. What do you just make of the field, and maybe the top 25 quad one wins aren't available in this tournament, but still a chance for some quality games.
Right, there's some good teams in this tournament. I've watched all of them. As you build up to the tournament, you get a chance to watch teams, and there's some really good teams and teams that we have a lot of respect for, and they might not have the huge name, but you're like, okay, that team's always good, and that coach is great, and so there is going to be some good opportunities, but it's the great thing is it's about us, and it's about us growing as a group on a trip together.
It seems like this team already is pretty close.
Yeah.
But what will 4, 5, 6 days down here and everything with this group out of Boise for a while do for you guys long term?
I think it always comes at the perfect time when you get to go this week. Weather starts to turn a little bit in beautiful Boise, it's going to be 80 degrees here, and like I said, they get to see something a lot of these guys have never seen before, and so we kind of embrace that, and we know when to buckle down and really dial into what the task at hand is. But we also, I want them to stop and smell the roses while we're down here and looking at these kind of things, because good chances a lot of these guys will never get back here.
Which guy do you think is going to be most scared to try to touch or kiss a stingray?
I think it's going to be a lot of them. They're pretty nervous about it, and when you say stingray, people only know one story about a stingray, and so that's not a good story. So they're apprehensive, and so it's kind of neat to watch them go outside of their comfort zone together.
One basketball question just about Alvaro, and I know he went 1 for 10 in the last game. Yeah. You look up and he still had 6 assists, 1 turnover. Right. I think. I mean, in the past, you haven't always had a guy that can still impact the game as much if they're not scoring. How do you? I mean, he says he knows he's going to shoot better. Obviously, he will. How do you look at how he's kind of fitting in through 4 games and what still fans haven't seen from him?
Yeah, and you look back. I think that lesson has been learned by all of us a lot of times. You go back to a lot of our guys and some of their first 2 or 3 or 4 games. I go back to Tyson's freshman year. He didn't score maybe his first 20 games. And you go on and on and on.
But he's still contributing, though.
No doubt. And there's always an adjustment. And when, there's an adjustment for our team. I mean, we're all putting the pieces together still. And I think you saw in that last game, I think I said it right at the post game, you saw people and players kind of grow up and become more comfortable. When I say grow up, I mean they just kind of became more at ease in the uniform and with their teammates, and kind of work through some stuff. And it takes some games. And that's why it's nice to get 3 games in 3 days down here, and not, there's really, it does, once we get through the touristy part when we first get here, it becomes, that's kind of all we do. There's really no distractions. You're just in the gym doing your thing, in the gym doing your thing, in the film room. So you do get a lot of time to work on stuff during the games, and so it kind of helps guys work through
Do you like
stuff.
Playing earlier in the day?
I love it. That's, I think it was last year maybe when we had late night. That's hard because you're watching games and scouting teams, and you don't know if you're going to play the winner or the loser, what. So that becomes really hard and a lot of work on the staff. It's great to play the first one because then you really only, we're playing the winner or the, you know the path, the time, and if you can get through those early starts, because it's an advantage for the East Coast teams. I mean, 2-hour difference.
Yep.
We have to get on this time quickly and get adjusted quickly and get off to a good start. And if you get through that first game, then it's a big advantage.
Yeah, and then you get to the Tuesday night, I guess.
Right.
But I guess final thing, whether it's the first game against Hampton, I don't know if give away the scouting report, but just in general, what do you guys need to do to play well in this tournament?
Well, we just, I think the identity of this team's starting to get established, and we have to be a low turnover team, and we have to be a team that can, doesn't settle for bad shots, because we can get great. You look at our shooting percentages in a lot of these halves and games, and when we've been, take care of the ball, make it an easy play, pound it a little bit. We put a lot of foul pressure on teams. We get to the free throw line and we shoot a high percentage. So I think Hampton looks like a team that wants to speed things up, make it kind of crazy. Not that we're not going to go fast, but we want to get great shots out of it. Not just good shots, great shots. Kind of like what we had a great approach with a different style against Oakland with 2 turnovers in the first half. And I think if you can play that way against Hampton, I think it bodes well to our style.
Back here live at the John Gray Gymnasium. Doug Shaw is one of the best officials in the business. He wanted 3 days in the Cayman Islands, so he's going to have a Final Four official. Does a lot of Big Ten, ACC games. At least one quality official in this game. Must have, I wouldn't blame you. Maybe not the best field, but I get 3 days in the Cayman Islands. I'll come referee down there, sure. So haven't had a chance to see who the other officials are yet, but we do have the coaches from South Dakota State. They're going to be sitting right next to me, it looks like, as they scout who they're going to play in the second game of this tournament. But again, Boise State getting set to take on Hampton. South Dakota State or Duquesne, they'll be playing in the second game. Boise State will take on the winner. If Boise State wins against Hampton, they'll play 11:30 Boise time tomorrow against the winner of South Dakota State and Duquesne from the Atlantic 10. So we'll tell you more about the bracket as we move forward here. Haven't seen Bill Clinton yet. He's not here for this game, I can tell you that. But he might. Bill Clinton ref Eric Curry, he seems like a guy that might want 3 days in the Cayman Islands. I could see him being here at some point. So, yes, people keep asking. Yes, this is the gym. It's a high school gym for John Gray High School here on the Cayman Islands. But it is a high school gym, yes. But it's a pretty nice high school gym. So there are seats at the other end. And I would think it seats about 2,500 or so. Nice little contingent of Boise State fans. They're going to have more fans than Hampton, it looks like, for sure. But we will certainly see as we get closer to game time what that situation is going to be. So right now, though, Boise State has the crowd advantage. I'd say it's about 30-20. And for those of you that keep asking also, it's $30 on Flow Hoops. Flow Hoops, $30 a month subscription gets you the tournament, and you can watch the next 3 days. Otherwise, BNN will try to get some highlights. We'll get those posted out throughout the game. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Make sure you're following BNN and the post-game show right after the game. Give us about 5 minutes after the game ends. Listen to Abe on the radio. That's probably the best way to do it. Listen to Abe on the radio, and then after the game ends and you're listening to Abe, flip over to our post-game show. We'll have full post-game coverage of Boise State. Hopefully a win against Hampton. We'll see moving forward. The officials are posing for a photo here behind us. Looks like one of the officials brought his wife. Smart move for the Cayman Islands for 3 days. But we got crowd filing in. Going to be a lot of fun. Again, we'll do our best to get you as much as we can in terms of we'll do the best we can to get you as much. They're making some kid move over here. The best we can in terms of highlights. So during the game, we'll get you some highlights. We'll try to get you highlights. Post-game on the post-game show, we'll have interviews. Hampton did not travel their band. I know there was a story there going back to the NCAA tournament and when they were there against Iowa State in Boise. How do we watch the game? Unfortunately, Levi, again, unless you want to pony up $30. And if somebody does it, let me know how it is. $30, you have to pony up to Flow Hoops. Go online to Flow Hoops, and it's $30 to watch this game or watch the whole tournament. $10 per game, I guess, if you break it down. But otherwise, listen to Abe Jackson on 670 KBOI, and then we'll get some highlights on social media, and we'll have a full highlight package on the post-game show if we can do it. I'm working solo down here, so we'll do what we can to get some highlights put together for the post-game show. And hopefully it's a lot of positive things to talk about. So they're getting ready to do the national anthem. We're going to jump off here. Appreciate all you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you can. $50 for a full year using that promo code BNN50deal. Help us out. Support our efforts, our travel costs. BNN, the only local media outlet that made the trip down here to the Cayman Islands. So if you can help us out with a subscription, we'd love to have it. Tell your friends. $50 using that promo code BNN50deal, and you get exclusive articles online, a daily email, all kinds of great stuff. So do that if you can and support us. If not, at least retweet this video, share this video, subscribe to our YouTube page for free, and please support the sponsors as well. All the great sponsors we've told you about during the show, please support them because this show would not be possible without all of our sponsors. I may have forgot a couple of them. By the way, you get the Breezy bundle. He got a touchdown last night. So Breezy Dubar, Jackson's, you get a hot dog and a soda for $1 on Tuesday at Jackson's, thanks to Breezy Dubar. If you need some Ashton Genty gear, check them out, theblueandorangestore.com. They got some racks there in the front of the store. Check them out, Ashton Genty gear, the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. And if you need a new roof, I highly recommend Signature Roofing, mysignatureroofing.com. Re-roofs, repairs, inspections, estimates. The team at Signature Roofing does a great job, and they're sponsoring our post-game voicemails. If you have one for the basketball game, we'll try to get it on, but this is primarily a football thing. And again, mysignatureroofing.com. And check out Lean Feast as well, leanfeastmeridian.com, leanfeastmeridian.com. Great food options, 10,000 plus combinations. Thank all of our great sponsors. Go support the sponsors, guys. Help keep BNN rolling, and we appreciate you guys for watching the pregame show. Go listen to Abe on the radio side, and we will talk to you after the game. Give us 5 minutes right after the game ends, right around 11 a.m. back in Boise. We'll be live with the postgame show. Highlights, Leon Rice live, players. They're going to join us right here to do this live postgame show. So thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you. Great show, great comments, great score predictions. Have a great Sunday morning. Follow me on Twitter for some highlights. Listen to Abe Jackson, and we'll be back with full coverage on the postgame show. Boise State basketball here at the Cayman Islands Classic, taking on Hampton in round 1 in about 10 minutes here at the John Gray Gymnasium. This has been Bronco Nation News presenting the Lithia Ford Boise pregame show from the Western Collective Studios. Grab another Horseshoe Golden Ale. Rowpaint.com, our title sponsor. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy the game if you're able to watch it on Flow Sports. And we will talk to you guys on the postgame show. Again, thanks to everybody for the love. Thanks to the sponsors. Thanks to our subscribers. Enjoy the game. We'll talk to you on the postgame show. Boise State and Hampton coming up. Full coverage. Bronco Nation News Live. BroncoNationNews.com.